As you're finishing up the backside of your notes over relations, check and see if you're on the right track. Your domain and your range should have been listed accordingly. The table shown above about the bald eagles do not come out and say your X's and your Y's. But we know that time, or your year, is always your X. So my years here would be my domain. Your number of eagles would be your range. You're going to take that information and you were supposed to sketch a graph. So your graph should look something like this. You should have your X's on the bottom, which is your domain, your range on the y-axis, and you should have sketched it. You can see that it gradually goes up along your way. Okay? From then, you should have been able to make some conclusions from the data. My conclusion was that the number of eagles increased each year. You could have also concluded that between 1996 and 1997 and 1998, those 3 years, it only increased by 3 eagles. You could have also concluded that the biggest jump between amount of eagles could have been between 1998, 1999, and 2000. There's lots of different conclusions that you could have made from this data. Now, we're going to look at what's called the inverse relation. The inverse relation is basically just the opposite of a relation. So the inverse of a relation is obtained by switching the coordinates in each ordered pair. So if I have the relation 2, 5, to find the inverse, I'm just going to switch those ordered pairs, or those coordinates. So instead of 2, 5, I'm going to have 5, 2. Instead of negative 3, 2, I'm going to have 2, negative 3. Instead of 6, 7, I'm going to have 7, 6. Instead of 5, negative 1, I'm going to have negative 1, 5. And it's really that simple. All you do is switch the X's and the Y's. On your paper, you have a mapping 2, 3, 5, 6, negative 4, negative 7, negative 8. You have arrows 2 to negative 4, 3 to negative 4, 5 to negative 7, and 6 to negative 8. You're going to express this relation as a set of ordered pairs. Then they want you to write the inverse. So your relation would be, you list the ordered pairs. So 2, negative 4, 3, negative 4, 5, negative 7, and 6, negative 8. To find the inverse of that relation, all you need to do is flip the X and the Y. So my inverse is now negative 4, 2, negative 4, 3, negative 7, 5, and lastly negative 8, 6. Number 2 is the same thing. For your paper, you have 5, 7, 4, and 0. 1, 2, negative 9. 5 goes to 1, 7 goes to 2, 4 goes to negative 9, and 0 goes to 2. So your relation would be the set of ordered pairs there. So 5, 1, 7, 2, 4, negative 9, and 0, 2. The inverse would be the opposite of that. 1, 5, 2, 7, negative 9, 4, and 2, 0. That concludes the notes for today.